So okay, it's a bit inconvenient, but yeah, nice walk around. Okay, so let me share the board again. Just, yeah. Right. So let's continue. Yeah, so it's the same thing, and I think that then it correlates with what I wanted to discuss, right? So I'm not sure how you guys see it, but I feel there's a pattern here, right? So like almost with every integration request, be that cloud provider or yeah, Edge DNS, we are facing because we are using external DNS, right, to operate with Edge DNS. We are facing the issue that we need to provide that support for NS and TXT records, and depending on success, we still have tickets sitting on external DNS queue and waiting for feedback and waiting for approvals. And it's not only about us. I think anybody who is willing to participate and contribute to the project. So support for Azure, it's I think one of the recent cases as well. So my question would be what we want to do about that. What are the ways to mitigate that issue? Because I think this is becoming a major blocker for us to actually expand the KGB coverage besides the main AWS, Azure, and Prem support, right? So one of the idea might be to, I don't know, agree with the external DNS or maybe on to become one of the, like, so that one of our members become a maintainers there in terms of record support. I know you're already there, but as I understood, you're more taking care on core DNS related things, right?
So it's a core DNS and CRD. So core DNS provider and CRD source for myself. So it's very scoped. And the project is, well, it doesn't move fast. So I don't know. It's easier just to fork and contribute asynchronously. But meanwhile, make ourselves unblocked.
Yeah, that was another option I was thinking about, right? Because in this case, again, the fact this project is not moving fast, right? That also means that we won't have many conflicts coming at us. But also we can, yeah, really unblock ourselves and continue. And we already have, I think, external DNS fork, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, we wouldn't be able to proceed if you would wait for upstream merges, right? So we were maintaining external DNS fork for a real while, especially in the beginning of the project. Then it was stuff was merged in upstreams, and we switched back to like stable to be a good citizen, right, in a community. But I mean, like maintaining a fork for a while, it's a totally reasonable open source way of doing things. There is nothing wrong with that, especially assuming that we're contributing back our
exactly
originated changes, right?
Exactly. So, and our contribution is really scoped, I think, around certain types of records to be supported. Yep. Okay, then probably, so let's put it Okay, external DNS way forward. So obviously, yeah, I'd like to ask for project maintainers' opinion on that. If we agree that yeah we can fork, and then we yeah we're still contributing back with PRs, and but we'll just move forward.
Well, last time I think I mentioned that last time I did a conversation with Rafael about the state of maintainership, and they basically drawn with the provider fixes they have no clue about, and people come and contribute the provider and then leave. And there are probably a core AWS provider, and then there are like few core ones, and then there are like dozens of them like in unknown state. And I propose to create the owner's file in a provider directory, so CI can basically we can do the automation in that regard. But the problem is that this is the Kubernetes, under the Kubernetes umbrella. So for to become a maintainer, it's quite a painful process, and it takes time. And we cannot do that. Even we find the we find people to maintain providers and basically the registry type. Well, I can maintain the TXT one because I did some sort of refactoring there, but it's not a fast process either.
Okay. So okay, and I wonder if there's possibility to give that option to the community, right? So that if it's possible to separate plugins out of the project, because it's already modular, right? So I wonder if that might be the solution.
Yeah, that was also my concern. Like, I'm looking into repo. There is a directory provider, and in that there are like different directories with those providers, but not sure if it's plugin based or not, like Core DNS, where they have the support that you basically compile one binary based on some config mechanism where you specify the plugins. I think it's not the case in here, so they are not prepared for plugin based approach. If it was there, it would be much easier. We would be in much easier situation, because all we need to do is enhance the plugin for provider. It can be called differently, right? And we can add our stuff there for NS record and TXT record, and rely on the same core of the external DNS. But currently, I guess we need to fork everything and rely like the directory based, which is not the best approach. Yeah.
Okay, so I think the decision is to fork, right? Okay. So I guess if we all agree, the decision will be to make a fork from external DNS under K8GB organization, and so we can unblock ourselves. Cool. I think Infoblox V2 upgrade. We thought it would be a good think to upgrade to V2, at least from the box client, because on our side we have a major upgrade of Infoblox systems in the bank. So we like presume, and because of security, they're adding support like for TLS, I think, and some additional authentication. And it all comes, I think, into version 2. So create a ticket for upgrade. But there are associated issues with that. Looks like they really removed some necessary, support we required to deal with Infoblox by some mistake or some regression bugs. And it was added only recently, and I think it's almost 1 year the last time V2 was released, and we require really recent support from them. So still there are no questions, no answers from them, so I'll need to ping them. But also there is a related problem. I think Dinar has found that so there are some issues with recent Infoblox client, as far as I understand, but I'm not sure. Dinar, can you unpack on this?
Yeah, just on external DNS, the latest release 12.2, the Infoblox client got upgraded to V2, and people started to see delays in fetching queries from Infoblox. It's like drastic change from 300 milliseconds to I believe it's 20 seconds to fetch some record. So not sure. I just warned Iji. He been working on that. Like, if we won't suffer the same, but we are not. The discussion I've seen around was the A record or host entry. We don't use that. We use the delegation, was that delegated zone,
and TXT record.
That no, we don't do
Yeah,
TXT
we create those. We are updating the TTL using on Infoblox as well.
Oh, okay. I thought we dropped that functionality. But still, it could be related to authentication mechanism they introduced in V2.
And I see they commented out, not sure why not just removed. So they just commented out the code for validate for connection validation, which was causing kind of additional, let's say, requests to the Infoblox, because even if you're not doing anything, they were using actually the request for user profile in order to check if connection was successful. So they commented out, but I think I know there are lots of changes that I know you made it and you tested with it on the non-release tag, but I really think we need to
Yeah, I'm depending on master basically. Well,
yeah,
master is master a month ago.
So okay, let me so
Actually, is there a way to test it on some Docker image, or because I haven't tested it against live instance of Infoblox. Do they have open source like Docker or container which I can run locally and try the APIs?
I think they do. I think they even the last time we discussed with them, right, the opportunities for the ways to do install info blocks. They even have, I think, K3S support, and so which is even easier for us.
I assume it's going to be like a huge monolith, right? Because I saw some web UIs on the internet and they look pretty old.
The thing, well, the thing is, that's I think also to discuss with them, because the huge monoliths, I think it's something which is associated with their news, with old appliances. But the stuff they're offering right now, I think it's like, I wouldn't put it like this, but it's comparable with, I don't know, with an S1 with modern name services they build in there. So it's completely different, and this one is actually installable by Docker.
It runs core DNS under the covers, right?
Yeah. The only problem is that it is another info blocks, right? So if we test it with that new and modern and shiny thing, it doesn't guarantee us that it will work with the old appliances, even with like upgraded systems. So I think we still need to try to check that internally. Unavoidable thing, but yeah, let's. So I think this one, the Docker K3S, will definitely be, like, wider community will benefit from this, because I think this is the way forward from Infoblox to use. This is their current offering, right? Not some old stuff. But I think, unfortunately for us, we still stick to that old thing. Okay, so CI improvements. Anything would like to discuss here?
I just want to show you that is there. That there is a new action that can be enabled, or it's enabled by default, and it will print the debug info. But if you also need logs from the K8GB and I don't know, metrics and whatnot, it's written in the PR description. You had to check this enable checkbox. If you run a job, you have an option to rerun it, and if you enable this checkbox, it will bring also these additional infos for you. It's only a PR. It's not. It hasn't been merged yet. There are examples of how it looks like, those two links.
Okay.
Just a heads up. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess we can. And on the way, WRR and SRD plugin. Is there anything you'd like to discuss?
Yeah, it's just not just. It's quite large PR. Basically, there is a lot of refactoring and a lot of changes. So I will need to. Actually, I'm preparing the presentation about what has changed, and basically then you can approve the stuff, or basically it's more about talk about it, because a lot of things has changed.
Okay, so can we then arrange the presentation on next?
Yeah. Is the internal? It is the internal one, right? Or
I'm not sure. Can be public, can be internal.
okay. I'm just asking. Basically, it doesn't matter to me whether it's public or not. Basically, you are reviewers, so it is mainly for you guys.
Okay, our stuff is public. What we are working on. So yeah, we can.
Okay. Yeah, there are still a lot, not a lot, but some things that needs to be done in terms of page round robin. But it becomes to be a part of the presentation.
case.
Yeah, it is weight shuffling. Basically, it is like a new library, a new package, which is open source, and basically this thing is responsible for the shuffling the indexes. Doing nothing else than shuffling indexes. It's very fast and very efficient, and it's very well tested. And basically, we use that within the our weight round robin. I just mentioned that I did some extra unit test because couple of use cases didn't work, but now it's very stable.
Awesome. Are you happy to share it with us as well? To have some presentation on that.
Basically, I can do it now if you want. I have ready like a few slides, so I can do it now if you like.
Okay, cool. Let's do.
Good. So I'm taking the screen.
Yeah.
Cool. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we do.
Good.
I do.
Yes, we don't.
We don't.
Take some time for me.
How disable participant screen sharing?
Let me. Okay. So I load the screen sharing. Please try.
Okay. Wait a sec. Share screen, desktop one. Share bank. Yeah, I think.
Here it goes.
Okay, can you see now? Good. I already started to prepare a presentation for weight round robin, but first of all, it's not done yet. And second thing, this is like a height concept how weight round robin is working. You know, it's not a CRD plugin which should be standalone presentation or something like that. But one part is this one, go weight shuffling. I will run it into the presentation mode. So basically, the way how it is working is, maybe you remember from the school, from the probability and statistics, you have PDF and the CDF. It is very simple. PDF is, you can imagine it like some probability array or probability slice, and it contains the probabilities. So we have something like, we have a couple of regions, like here, and we have a US region which contains which has a few nodes, having two addresses, and we have a weight. I made a spelling mistake here, but doesn't matter. It has a weight 80%. European Union has a 20%. UK has a 0%. So we want, in this case, in this configuration, we want those two addresses being on the top of the DNS response with a probability of 80%. Because this is the result. While the UK, we don't want to have in the list, or we wanted to have it always at the end of the list. You know, so this is what I'm expecting from the library. You know, so the input to the library is some, let's say, it is PDF, and PDF is the array of the probabilities, and at the end, the result of some function call or whatever will be the list or the one item which happens in the probability as I put there. So as you can see, I put the PDF 10, 70, 20. It must always have 100%. Doesn't matter if we use the portions, if we use the percentage or whatever. In the end of the day, in the inside, it has always 100%. So for the like a better for the easier way to explain it to you is to use the percentage here. So as you can see this PDF, I want to see the first item, whatever item it is. First item is will be returned in 10% probability. Second item in 70% probability. Third item in 20% probability. So somehow I count from the PDF function which is called CDF, and CDF is this one. This is some CDF function. So because the first item or zero item is 10%, the zero item is just 0.1. Second item is 0.n because this plus 70%. So this first item happens in occurrence 70%, and the third one is 20%. So here I generate the random number. This is important. I'm taking random number from 0 to 1, and CDF is return index for that number. So whatever number I generate from 0 to 1, it always returns me index 1 with 70% probability, or 0 item with a 10% probability, and the rest with a 20% probability. Even if I have like a 50-50, the random number will be always less than 0.5 or higher than 0.5, and the CDF returns me always correct index. You know, and the rest, and we have like two kind of calls. One is pick vector, and the second one is pick. So if I use pick, it returns me one number. If I with a 70% of probability, in this case, it will return me like a 1, you know. But if I use the pick vector, there is the question how to handle the results. You know, at the moment I implemented like two strategies, and one strategy is that it returns me like a pick vector. It returns me vector where items are sorted through the probability as it is here. And second strategy is that 0 items are totally removed. You know, so if I do the pick vector with the second strategy, it returns me this array, but this IP address will not be there because it has 0 weight. So because this is the bit questionable, it must be parameterized, because for different use cases, we want to see this address, and in different use cases, we don't want to see it, you know. So this is how Go weight shuffle works. As I thought, it's very well tested. That basically the test contains the difference from the expected probability. You know, so if I generate like 1,000 indexes or 1 million indexes, I'm counting the occurrence and how they differ from the expected result, and basically I have set like a 3%, and the all tests are passing, you know, in more than 1,000 results. So it is quite exact and very fast, and it contains exactly what we want within the weight round robin, because in the weight round robin our plugin just is calling this library, and it retrieves me. I put there some IP addresses in some array, and it retrieves me how should I shuffle that array. So I get the indexes, shuffle that, and retrieve the IP addresses. You know.
Clear.
So that's.
So just one related question. I remember we discussed, right, the percentage versus just number, and the as like weight as proportion of the total sum, right? So my understanding is that so the percentage stays on this library, but as we're using it, we're just translating those proportions to those.
Yeah, definitely. But in first version of weight round robin, when it will be completed, I will still go with a percentage, or maybe we'll go to portions. But going to portions mean, that's the question. You know, it will need some refactoring again, so I can do it. But probably this one will still work with a percentage initially. Maybe I can do some, like, here is a new WS, or I can do new WS, one more function which will use the portions, you know.
Yeah, maybe we can. Yeah, maybe we can use that, right? So we can actually internally convert. Yeah, just to like how to say, reflect, right where I'm coming from was that almost in every implementation of weighted round robin, right, in every provider.
Yeah.
More
So I will do it here as well. I will do the extension. I will implement one more function, like a new VS or new VS with portions or something like that. And it will eat both of them, and basically internally it will calculate the percentage.
Right, because we're like with all the numbers you provide, right? And
yeah. I will do it this way, because if it is weight shuffling for the round robin, I can put that with both styles, because CDF is always working like with a percentage, you know, or usually in the mass you are between 0 and 1, you know. So this is something that everyone is expecting. So yeah, I will do it. Good.
Just like as in let's say DevOps engineer who will be entering those figures, right? So point out, just rather put some, you know, no, 10, 20, 50. Let's wait.
Good point actually. I will do this. So yeah, you can just on the release like the new Go weight shuffling. But it is very stable, and to be honest, I'm very happy. I built it.
Man, then probably we can create some article related to that. Some
we can.
So we can actually brag about it, and let's live right to success. Okay, cool. So I think thanks for that. Yeah, there's this refactoring setup manager task.
This is like okay. I will keep the presentation window now.
So just we have like 6 minutes left. Like that's
good. Very quickly. Basically, there is a bug, and this bug is telling that if someone or some other process, let's say, changes the ingress annotations, GSLB is or KGB is trying to put it back, and the thing is that those like two processes can fight each other, and they are changing the annotations. And basically, we have such issue that we have something which is called ingress handler within KGB, and basically if I create a new GSLB, it will create automatically ingress, or if I create ingress, it will create the GSLB, so the cycles can occur here. And basically this bug looks simple, but we were fixing that together with Dinar. We found a fix, but some Terra tests were failing. And I found that there are such cycles, and there are some corner cases which still are like making the stuffs like they're failing, you know. So what I'm trying to do here is I split it into multiple parts. One part is that there is like some function, some large function, which is used for the initialization of GSLB. So I did some refactoring of that. This is part number 1. Part number 2 will be I add new tests, new mocks for the unit tests. And part 3 will be that I will reuse the dinar's changes and the unit tests and also extend it, and we will see, make it work.
Well, thanks. So as I understood correctly, right? So this issue actually relates to any kind of like smart control plane around the vanilla.
Yeah.
Is right.
Yeah.
That are updating every object with like adding
Yeah.
their
Yeah. Because if you create from the GSL the ingress basically it's not happening now, but ingress is, if we do some changes, ingress would be able to create the GSL back, and it make like some strange situations. So if I do some simple change, I can cause another bug. So I just want to say that this thing is not such easy as it looks like, and will require, I think, a lot of testing. To ensure that any changes are okay.
Maybe some point we will end up with ingress being the main object supported, and then it'll be easier with the CRD.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I know there are different views on that. I'm just looking from community point of view. People are really tend to use a ingress with annotation